From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, November 10th, 2016. Silver is trading at $18.57 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,278 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 0.72 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $719. Antiwar.com reports the first reported civilian casualties of the U.S.-backed invasion of Raqqa occurred overnight in the nearby village of Al-Hasha, just 40 kilometers north of the city, where a U.S. airstrike hit a large number of civilians. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights reported 20 civilians killed in the attack and 32 others wounded, again all civilians. The Pentagon has confirmed that it conducted the strikes that were reported in the area to have caused the casualties. The Kurdish YPG and its affiliate force, the Syrian Democratic Forces, however, insisted the Syrian Observatory's report was made up by the Islamic State and that there were only the Islamic State fighters in the village. They also claimed that any civilians killed were human shields, even though they denied any of them were present in the first place. Locals from within the village say those who were able fled, but many were forced to remain when the Islamic State fighters arrived and would not let anyone else go. The Islamic State had brought heavy weapons into the village, which apparently precipitated the strikes. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports voters in the District of Columbia overwhelmingly approved a ballot measure on Tuesday in favor of petitioning Congress to become a state. The advisory referendum was supported by 79.18% of voters. The resolution petitions the U.S. Congress to enact statehood to admit the area as the state of New Columbia. The referendum backs a constitution for the state of New Columbia, as well as boundaries and an elected representative form of government. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser told the Washington Post she would deliver a petition for D.C. statehood to the next president and congressional leaders by Inauguration Day. In California, a ballot measure seeking to require performers in the adult film industry to wear condoms has been rejected, with 54% voting against Proposition 60. Additionally, voters in California and Colorado voiced concern on Tuesday with what they view as an overconsumption of sugary soft drinks by issuing a tax on them, similar to deterrent taxes on cigarettes in some states. Voters in Boulder, Colorado, San Francisco, Oakland, and Albany, California passed the soft drink tax. The excise tax in Boulder would be 2 cents per ounce, whereas in all 3 California cities it will be 1 cent per ounce. The taxes affect sugar-laden beverages like soda, sweetened teas, and sports drinks. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports Republican Donald Trump put aside the celebrations and focused on Wednesday on his 73-day transition to the White House as rival Hillary Clinton promised to bury the bitterness of their long presidential race and work to unify a divided country. After Trump's stunning upset of the heavily favored Clinton, Democratic President Barack Obama and leading figures in the Republican Party who have struggled to make peace with Trump all vowed to move past the campaign ugliness. In a concession speech in New York, joined by her husband and daughter, Hillary Clinton, the Democratic nominee, said Donald Trump is going to be our next president. We owe him an open mind and the chance to lead. Clinton told supporters while her loss was painful and it will be for a long time, she had offered to work with Trump as he prepares to begin his 4-year term on January 20th. Obama, who campaigned hard against Trump, invited him to the White House for a meeting on Thursday after a brutal night for the Democratic Party, which also fell short of recapturing majorities in both chambers of Congress. Trump and his senior aides met at Trump Tower in New York to begin the transition. Thousands of protesters thronged Midtown Manhattan and marched towards Trump Tower on Wednesday evening, while at a park further downtown, hundreds of people shouted, "Not my president." In Chicago, thousands gathered outside the Trump International Hotel and Tower downtown while chanting phrases like, "No Trump, no KKK, no racist USA." This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.